Today we'll be looking at social norms and elevator behavior. Elevators, one of our best modern creations. Perfect for when you just can't bring yourself to take the stairs, the ideal place to awkwardly interact with people you don't know. A place to study? Not really. The social context of an elevator comes with a set of rules and norms that people generally adhere to. So for my norm violation, I decided to break one of those norms by studying in an elevator. To define this norm, let's look at some of the do's and don'ts of riding an elevator. Do get on, push the button for your designated floor, and get off. Don't do basically anything else. If other people are on the elevator, you may say a quick hello, but plenty of people don't even do that, because first and foremost, elevators are a mode of transportation, and a very quick one at that. You're expected to exit the elevator once you've reached your floor. It would violate this norm to remain on an elevator for an extended period of time, doing something like studying. So who would ever do something like that? Well, I guess I did. I took my laptop and headed to the Woodruff Library, where I sat in an elevator and waited for people to come along. Well, what kinds of people? Being on a college campus, the two groups of people I encountered were students and professors, or other adults of authority. I did a total of 5 observations, so let's take a look at each one. Student 1 came in and gave me a very confused look. Then she moved as far away from me as possible. She kept her eyes locked on her phone after that. The first thing I noticed was that she didn't acknowledge my presence in a typical way, like saying hi or even smiling. It all just felt incredibly awkward. This time, a student and an adult came in. They both looked a little confused and stood on the far side of the elevator. The student didn't look up from his phone after that, but the adult kept glancing from me to the student as if to say, "This is weird, right?" The sanctions were similar to observation 1, but having an additional person there provided a source of validation for the adult that it was indeed abnormal. Student 3 came in, gave me a longer than normal glance, moved to the other side, and laughed under her breath. As if I wasn't embarrassed enough. That made me feel even more out of place. Nobody likes to be laughed at. This time I had one student and one adult again. The student didn't look up from his phone once. The adult did a double take, then glanced at me several times throughout the ride. Overall, I didn't feel as awkward this time because the student didn't even notice me. The adult's reaction was very similar to that of observation 2. Student 5 came in and he looked really familiar. That's because he was actually the same person as student 2. He kept his eyes on his phone until the very end of the ride when he appeared to take a picture of me and then quickly left the elevator. He appeared uncomfortable as he took the picture. People don't normally take pictures of strangers, especially without their consent. So was he breaking a norm too? At that point, I was just ready to be done and I was happy to leave. Some common sanctions were standing on the far side of the elevator, avoiding a greeting and eye contact, and focusing on phones. Phones have become a modern way of telling people you're uncomfortable and don't want to talk, and that was very prevalent in my observations. Throughout the observation, I felt nervous. I found myself wondering what people would think and what they would do. It was clear I made people uncomfortable, but I guess that's how I knew I was breaking the norms of elevator behavior.